Welcome to the Beyond the Craft podcast, your gateway to the world behind the scenes of creativity and talent. I'm Kevin McRae, the creative director and founder of Revenant, where we breathe life into concepts through the art of animation. And alongside me is my cousin Keith, the founder and director of Breakout Recruitment, whose expertise spans the realms of talent acquisition and industry innovation. Together, we are embarking on a journey to uncover the hidden gems, untold stories, and invaluable lessons within our respective fields. Whether you're a seasoned professional or an aspiring creative soul, our goal is to provide a unique blend of experiences, knowledge, and insights that will trigger your passion and fuel your journey. Through candid conversations and shared wisdom, we invite you to join us as we navigate the ever-evolving landscapes of animation and recruitment. Our hope is that you'll not only find inspiration in our discussions, but also practical advice that you can apply to your own endeavors. Welcome to the next episode of Beyond the Craft. In this episode, we're going to talk about our love and inspiration behind movies, films. And so we're going to talk about why we love movies so much. What do we like from them? What do we value? What inspires us in our world of work?
Apart from the fact they let us escape the world.
Escapism.
Every now and again.
Yeah.
Escapism is a big part of that, right? Maybe we should go back to the day we were born, or the year, or the decade, the 1980s.
Jesus.
I was just checking this actually, because of course we grew up on the same thing. So like Indiana Jones and Star Wars, even Top Gun. I didn't realize I was only about 5 or 6 years old when those films came out. For some reason in my mind, because I think I must have saw them when, I think the first time I saw my first ever Star Wars was Empire Strikes Back. I saw that at my granny's house. She rented it for me. And I think I must have rented that movie every time I went down there. But I don't know, for some reason I thought I was always older. Those films seem to have lasted ages in the 80s, even though they came out quite early in the decade. It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I can't even remember the last time I watched Star Wars. It kind of went off on a tangent and I just never went there. But I did enjoy the originals when they first came out, for sure. But I wasn't as influenced by them as many others. I think I was more into the kind of horror films and the Goonies and things like that.
Goonies not a horror movie though, but
not a horror film, but it's had a bit more edge at the time. I was, big into kind of Beetlejuice and that type of thing.
Is that also an 80s movie, Beetlejuice? Is that creeping into the 90s there?
I feel like I need to Google it.
I feel like you need to Google it because I noticed the Goonies was 1985, at which point I was 4 years old when that came out.
Beetlejuice was 1998.
Oh, you're way off.
Yep.
We could have told that all the special effects that they used for that, when the little AstroTurf mat starts ripping apart, and the little Beetlejuice starts popping his head out.
Yeah, it's Michael Keaton who made that film. He was great.
No, I think we were probably very lucky to be born when we were, because I think, those adventure type movies, those Indiana Jones, the Goonies. What was the other one with the guy? Because you had the Asian kid as well. What's his name in
Data? Data, who was in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom as well.
Yeah, and he's a director now, isn't he?
Well, he was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. He won the Oscar, right, for Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. What a legend.
I think I'm about the same age as him.
Look what he's done.
I'm pretty sure.
And look where we are. That was really a great time. And then, of course, Beverly Hills Cop Police Academy. Oh, we were just so fortunate. The Never-Ending Story. Legend.
That film was traumatizing though. I think we were chatting about this the other day. Like I was watching it and I was horrified. It was just, when the horse is sinking in the swamp.
Oh no, and he's pulling the horse out and he's crying his eyes out.
Yeah, and Atreyu is like besought him. He's just like, it's horrific. And then the world is getting ripped apart by the nothing.
The nothing,
It goes down to one single rock.
He's got to say my name. Say my name.
And when the kid's getting bullied at the beginning and gets thrown in the, trash.
Oh, yeah. That's how we all felt back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But those are tough movies. Indeed, you wouldn't get away with that now.
Yeah. Big one for me was Labyrinth. I loved that film.
Oh, it's just a different quality, isn't it?
And also The Dark Crystal. That was another terrifying film.
The Dark Crystal. I don't think I've seen that one, or maybe I have, but I don't quite recall it.
It's Jim Henson. It was all puppets, obviously, and yeah, it's such a dark story. But they remade it for a Netflix series just a few years ago.
And was it any good?
It was. I thought it was really good, but I mean, they must have spent a small fortune making it because the sets were incredible. The puppets were amazing. Like the execution was superb, but it's just a bit of an odd story. I think maybe it doesn't resonate with so many people.
With the youth of today.
Yeah, but it was great.
So what do you feel about that? I think it's because I was speaking with Jono about this as well, about movies yesterday. And I just think the whole approach has changed. I don't know if you'd get away with making a movie like that anymore, like the original Alien. I don't know, the slow moving, building up the tension. I feel like everything just goes kind of straight into it.
You mean because it's not
mainstream. It's not like a superhero movie.
Stuff.
It's not a mass, an action movie. It's, I don't know. I just think because of all the streaming platforms as well, I think it's also changed the industry, right? And budgets.
Oh yeah,
as well. There's less gambles now, I suppose.
Perhaps, but there's more conversation about like where are movies going, where is film going in terms of like games and kind of branded entertainment and more themed entertainment as well, and how it all sort of influences and affects each other. But then that's the kind of bigger picture stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I'd love to have been around to see or Aliens as well in the cinema.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Because I think they're bringing Interstellar back, right? To come into the cinema to celebrate. It's like, I don't know how many years it's been going, but I think I have to go see that.
That would be a great film to see with an orchestra because the sound is just great as well.
Oh, that and Gladiator.
Yeah, the new Gladiator's coming out, isn't it? It's Paul Mescal.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Actually, that was a really good film that I saw After Sun just a few years ago with him in it. I would definitely recommend seeing that. It has this sort of 80s nostalgia attached to it. And it's an incredible film about sort of mental health and this father-daughter kind of relationship set in the 80s. You should check it out.
Check it out. You send me the name. I'll check it out. But what was the last movie you went to see at the cinema then?
Mad Max. Furiosa.
Oh, you went to see Furiosa, did you? What did you think about it?
I enjoyed it. It's quite different from the last one.
The last one was with that was
Hardy.
Tom Hardy. There was a bit of friction on that set, wasn't there? By all accounts, with Tom Hardy and what's the actress's name again?
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, supposedly there was a bit of back and forth there. Oh, but you don't have that in Furiosa because it's Chris Hemsworth now, right? The mighty Thor. Yeah,
he's really good, and yeah, it's a good film. It's got a bit more story to it than the last one.
Because is this okay? So this is the evolution of Furiosa, isn't it? So this is
so it's like prequel to the last one. It's really, really well done.
Yeah, I don't know. I love my Mad Max movies, the original ones. Wasn't sure about the last Mad Max, Fury Road. I mean, it was nice.
It's just I don't know. It's very different from the original sort of.
Mel Gibson. That's another guy from the 80s, isn't it? Man.
It's Rokitansky. It was great. It was such a good film as well. I was just going to mention a couple of people like Stanley Kubrick, his films, The Shining, and Eyes Wide Shut, and all those masterpieces that he made are just like compositionally beautiful, and the way that he sort of delivers the story is phenomenal. And also the work of Ray Harryhausen, working in sort of visual effects and looking at his special effects. And I remember when I was at school, I redesigned the Clash of the Titans poster and I painted it as part of my art project. And more recently with Revenant, we worked on the exhibition at the National Gallery of Scotland, which was the Titan of Cinema installation exhibition for Ray Harryhausen. And it was awesome. We got to go into the museum and 3D scan his actual models, his like puppets.
The original models from what was this? Jason and the Argonauts.
Jason and the Argonauts, Clash of the Titans. So we'd 3D scan them and then we would rig them and then animate them and then projected them back into the gallery beside the actual models.
It was pretty cool.
Probably one of the best projects I've worked on.
So that installation is no longer running at the moment, is it?
No, it was It was around about the time of COVID. It ran for about 2 or 3 years.
Oh, that's not so bad. You didn't get to keep a model.
Nah,
You
unfortunately.
did nick one. Just put it in the camera bag or something
One of
like
those
that.
little skeletons from Jason and the Argonauts would have been phenomenal. Would be great.
Oh, but they are. Oh, gee, but that's also what I'm saying about the special effects. You knew it was special effects, but it just looked crazy good. I'm not sure why, even though you knew it was superimposed.
Yeah.
You know, when they're running along the beach or whatever, or the what's the little owl flapping his wings?
That's right. Yeah, the little mechanical one. Beeble? Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was great. Different times. Yeah, it's just had such an influence. And actually, my dad came around the other day, and he was like, "Oh, I found this box in the attic, and it's full of like your VHS kind of videos." Totally forgot about that box, and he was saying because there used to be limited edition VHS.
Yeah, that's right. I got a Matrix one. I don't know what to do with it.
99. That's cool. And I bought the Jurassic Park one, and it looks like a big bit of amber, I think, or like a big bit of rock in it.
Because they do the box sets and everything like that.
Yeah,
as well,
it had like a dinosaur print in it, I think, as well. And then do you remember you used to open the VHS boxes and then you would get like pictures, like photographs from them.
That's what you miss now, right? It was even when you had DVDs, you had a proper box you could open. There'd be information. There'd be all sorts. It was like there was a whole, I don't know, there's a whole thing about that. Getting a new VHS or a new DVD and unwrapping it and then opening up the DVD player, sliding it in there. And then you made an effort to watch it. Now you're on these bloody streaming sites and it's like, oh, this is shit. I'm going to try something else. And then you spend an hour looking through HBO, Disney, Amazon, Netflix, wherever the hell else you've got. It's just overwhelming now. Whereas before, I think you made a conscious choice, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, you go into the video shop and,
yeah, DVD shops. And
you would be desperate for like a cliffhanger or
Golden Die Hard, Lethal Weapon. I watched that too many times.
Yeah, Mel Gibson classic.
It's the best, but yeah.
I mean, big one for me was Trainspotting. I remember I snuck into the cinema when that came out when I was like 16, I think.
Oh, really?
And we watched it, and then it was so good. We went back to see it the following week, and we got kicked out because we weren't old enough.
Because you're underage.
And I was like, "It's fine, mate. I've already seen it. I was here last week."
But talking about soundtracks, that soundtrack from Trainspotting.
Yeah, I still listen to it now in the car. Like, it's so good. Yeah,
Iggy Pop on that. It's just, but that's amazing. That's the one. Whereas it was a Bixby or something, he throws the empty bottle over his shoulder over the balcony, and it smashes somebody on the head, and he's going down saying, "Who threw that fucking ball?" And then just starts chinning everybody.
That's it.
Edinburgh, it's its best, isn't it?
That bar actually is just down the road from me. It's about like 20 minutes in the car. Yeah, it's completely changed. But I think they've still got that balcony. But if you walked in there, it looks nothing like that now, obviously. But yeah, it's just down the road. I think the majority of it was shot in Glasgow. Anyway,
was it?
The film previous to that was Shallow Grave. And that was a great film as well.
You've got a love for horror movies, but I can't. I don't know. I remember watching, I think it was like 10 years ago, trying to watch Paranormal Activity.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the ones where they use like, it's security cam footage or baby cam footage?
Well, it's baby cam footage, I'm sure, because it's this guy, isn't it? He's trying to prove that there's a ghost in the
It's like Poltergeist or something. And then, I mean, it's so simple. It's like the Blair Witch, right? Super simple. It just scares the shit out of you.
Does my head in that film. I was just shouting at the screen when I was watching it. I was like, just follow the fucking river. Just follow the river. It's so simple, so easy. It's like, why would you be going around in circles? Like, I just didn't get it. It's so fucking stupid.
No, I don't have that often.
It was a clever film from that aspect, simple.
But the way it was shot and everything else.
Found footage. But a better one for me was like Troll Hunter. Is it Troll Hunter? Have you seen that one?
I don't know what that one is. I'm going to have to dip into Google now, people. Troll Hunter, 2010.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this the one set in Norway and then like a troll awakes? That's one I'm going to have to check out now as well.
Very similar to the Blair Witch, where it's like a group of guys that are chasing trolls basically, and it's like recorded kind of footage. And And they actually discover, well, I'm not going to give too much away, but
there's obviously they discover a troll because it's in the
they
title.
discover a troll, but then they find a guy who's basically knows more about the trolls than anybody else, and there's different types of trolls and stuff, and then it gets quite dark. And then towards the end, there's a massive troll. It's the one that's on the cover, I think, actually. But yeah, I totally recommend it. It's great.
I'll have a look at that one. Because I mean, we used to watch it. I mind going down to your place and always watching movies up in your bedroom, and your bedroom was up in the attic, right?
Yeah.
But I think one of the first movies we watched up there was Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
That was
it's a great movie, flying cars and everything else.
It's a bit weird. But,
spaceship, isn't it? Yeah.
I'll tell you one experience I had with a Stanley Kubrick film was Clockwork Orange, and this is the time when. Do you remember films used to be banned?
That's horrific. That movie.
Spit on your grave, and you had like Exorcist. I'm pretty sure was banned for a bit.
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange was banned as well before Kubrick died because he didn't want it released. And my mate had a black market copy.
Yeah.
On VHS. And yeah, it was around at his house and we were watching it. And it's at the time, I must have been like 14 or 15.
It's a savage watch at that age.
Oof. Yeah, it's brutal.
It's there's an imprint of a couple of scenes that are burned into my memory. And I think I've watched it once and never again. Maybe I have to go back.
So basically I literally watched that film and then bombed it home afterwards because it was dark. I literally ran all the way home and then I locked the doors and I went upstairs to my room and then somebody rang the doorbell and I was like, there's no fucking way I'm answering that door. Because you know the scene in the film where it's like, excuse me, miss, there's been a terrible accident.
Oh yeah. No.
That's the scene. Like, and I was like, there's no way I'm answering that door at this time.
No, that again, can you make some controversial movies like that these days? I don't think you can go that far beyond the line anymore.
No,
they're softened now, aren't they?
It's so sensitive. I think like there's a.
Don't want to trigger anybody. I don't know how many trigger warnings would have to be in that movie. They'd have to stop it all the time.
Yeah,
and just say, okay, got something else coming up.
I guess one thing we should touch on is how movies have sort of influenced or inspired what we do in kind of business and work.
Do we have to really? It's just fun talking about movies sometimes. But
for me, like there's one in particular, which was the Shawshank Redemption, which again, I think everyone will agree is like phenomenal film. But it's when Andy Dufresne is trying to get his library.
Yeah.
Sending a letter a day. And then he gets his library and then he doesn't have any books for it. And so he sends 2 letters a day until he gets his books. And eventually he gets his books. And so basically I used to just not hound people, but I would keep on hitting people, find a balance between sort of like not annoying them, but making sure that you were front of mind. And I had like basically a setup for reach outs, trying to reach clients and connect with people and things like that. And I called it my Andy Dufresne technique. I would just like send a letter a day, although letter was probably too much, but I'd just keep on hitting them in the nicest way possible.
It's called stalking now, or trolling, Kev.
That's not
so, no, that's true. That is a good movie. And I think, of course, the inspirations are going to be slightly different for the both of us. But I think for me, we spoke about it before we came on, is like any given Sunday, because I love, a sportsman, of course, so I love my sports movie, but that speech he gives right at the end or during when they're in the locker room, and I think it's the championship game. I think they end up losing the championship game as well, but he gives a great speech about taking all the inches. It's like you got to go inch by inch and the inches are all around you, but you just have to make sure that you're making that, that momentum to get there. I think I've got it up here in front of me. I mean, we should tag it because it's such a great speech. It goes on a bit.
Have you got a couple of lines?
I mean, it's all about working together, of course, like that. He's talking about in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. So it's a little bit like that. I take that into my business. I'm not willing to die from a business per se, but I think it's the thought behind those words. Like, because in American football, you have to fight for the inches. It's all about inches, you know, because you have to get your 10-yard gains or whatever. But it's just living those inches in front of your face and just going for it again and again and again and again and again. And I think that kind of resonates with me in that one. But it's also, I love underdog movies. I think it's a big underdog movie as well.
There used to be a lot more kind of underdog movies, like the Mighty Ducks. Do you remember?
What a movie! I watched it on Disney Plus when they brought it back as a series. Oh man!
And even like Cool Runnings, like, you know, John Candy. That was like an underdog story. Even although they didn't win in the end, they, you know, elevated the country. Lifted the country, propelled the country. Jamaica, and lifted their spirit.
But that's kind of true. I think if you look at all the movies, though, they're all kind of underdog movies. Jason and the Argonauts is an underdog movie. I mean, the main character in that was like a skinny little boy, wasn't he? Skinny little man. I mean, there was nothing magical about him.
He was quite a well-to-do guy. He pulled together a team, didn't he? He had like
that's what it's all about, right?
And something there for sure. But also the John Hughes movies. You know, Ferris Bueller, Breakfast Club, like the comedy and the influence that they have.
They're really, I suppose, underdog, but also rebellious, I would say. That's kind of going against society norms, because they were supposed to be outcasts, right? Especially in the Breakfast Club. And I suppose Ferris Bueller was a bit of an outsider. So was his mate. I mean, the only one who wasn't was his girlfriend. Great movies as well, with the tape deck. Oh, I'm still not feeling so well. And the teacher, you know, running to Ferris Bueller's house to catch him, to prove that he's not off sick, and the obsession behind that.
My favorite character in that film was Cameron, because he's like, just like, he doesn't want to do anything, and Ferris continually has to push him and force him, and then I
think he's suffering from depression in that movie, is he not?
I think he did, but then he pushes him so far that he ends up, like, remember kicking the car, and the car goes flying out.
While they've stuck it in reverse to try and get the clock to go backwards.
Trying to get the miles down. Yeah. And then he's realized, like, I'm just going to stand up to my dad. Like, you know, he keeps putting me down.
So he kicks his Ferrari out the garage window.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic movie, actually.
Iconic moment. It's great.
It is. Yeah, the movies that have influenced me, it's hard to really say, because I think they all have an impact on you depending on where you are in the stage in your life. Because I went through a big one on sports once again, but baseball in particular. Like, the one I've got is Moneyball with Brad Pitt. That's why I wear the Oakland A's hat, actually. That's also a good underdog story. And then Don't Forget the Curve, something like this. That's like Clint Eastwood, Amy Adams, Justin Timberlake. Solid cast.
I've seen that one. The only baseball film that I know
which one you're going to say. Build It and They Will Come.
Nope. Brewster's Millions.
Oh, really?
He's on a baseball team at the beginning. And that's when he gets the phone call. Yeah, it's like a really shitty kind of like baseball team. And then he gets a phone call that he's inherited some money. And then they obviously tell him. And so he buys up the team. And then he gets like the New York Yankees down to play the team. Does up the stadium and things like that.
I thought you were going to say The Field of Dreams.
The Field of Dreams is another one. Yeah, forgot about that one. Kevin Costner,
Build It and They Will Come. And then all the ghosts come out of the cornfield. Tell me that's not a horror movie.
I'd totally forgotten about that film. I've not seen that in years.
There was another one.
Did another one about golf, which was Tin Cup.
Yeah, I'm not so into golf. I've never really been a golf fan, I suppose. So golf movies don't work well with me.
Happy Gilmore.
Well, okay.
Of course.
The alligator eating his arm. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was a craze. Yeah.
I've got such different taste to my wife. Like, all she wants to do is watch Adam Sandler films.
Oh, really?
And she'll never watch like a horror film with me, because she doesn't like the feeling of sort of, obviously, of being scared, or like, you know, that sort of slight adrenaline kind of like.
That's that fear, but that's I mean, coming back to horror movies, I don't think I even got through. Was it the original Ring? The Ring, the Japanese one, where the chick comes out the well and then comes out the TV. I was like, it's just the static on the TV, like
that was,
and then it starts to move.
Classic horror as well as The Grudge. I had to watch that through my fingers because that was
The
horrendous.
Grudge. Which one was that in?
It was the one with the entity in the attic.
Oh man. No, but even Child's Play, the original Child's Play, fucked me up a little bit.
Oh man.
Here's Chucky.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Killer doll.
I remember waking up in the middle of the night when I was a kid and I thought I would see like shadows of like little dolls and things like that.
Chucky coming
I think
to
that
get
was
you
like,
with his little
it was quite an
pictures, like-
80s thing. It was quite an 80s thing, that wasn't it? I mean, the first horror film that I ever saw was A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Oh, now you're bringing back trauma.
That scared the bejesus
We
out
should
of me.
stop talking about this right now. Because what was it you had to say as well? There was like wasn't there there was the 3 lines you had to say before you went to bed or something like this?
Nah, I think that's a different.
We wouldn't take you?
Nah, that's a different. That must be something different.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. But no, that one was god awful. Oh, what was the one with the guy with the spikes out of his head?
Oh, Hellraiser. Yeah, I used to have a T-shirt, I think, with that guy's pinhead or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Beyond Nightmare on Elm Street, one that really scared me once was that Event Horizon.
Event Horizon was massively underrated. That was such a good film and still scars me. See those flashbacks to like hell.
Oh, when they find the crew and everything. Oh no.
Yeah, it's horrendous. Like,
Because they're in hell, right? The crew.
Yeah.
I think that's the premise, and like
Well,
they can't escape it.
They obviously went through a black hole or something which took them to the gates of hell, and then Sam Neill is trying to program the spaceship to go back through the black hole.
Oh yeah, that's
Something
right.
like that because of his dead wife.
Weren't they going to make another one of those?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
Yeah. Oh no. So horror movies. I'm going to have to forget those before I go to sleep tonight.
There was a couple of good recent ones actually. I quite enjoyed The Empty Man, which came out, and there was Talk to Me, which came out recently as well. Have you seen that one?
No.
No.
I'm gonna have to. I don't know if I will check them out, to be honest. I don't know. I think one of the other ones I watched was it Children of the Corn, like the Stephen King movies, like Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
And things like that. They were also messy.
Yeah, there was some that were better than others. I'd say Pet Sematary was a good one for sure.
All right, here was the quote from Nightmare on Elm Street. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. And that was it. This just messes you up as a little kid. After watching that, whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Never sleep again. Because they try to keep themselves awake, right, in that movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, God. That's messy. That's messy indeed. But yeah, I don't know. But what have we got to look forward to in movies now? Luckily, all the Marvel stuff's finished. DC are rebooting Superman, so we'll see how that goes.
I saw that, yeah. I'm looking forward to the new Alien film that's coming out later this year. I think it's out in August, Alien Romulus.
Oh, yeah.
The trailer actually looks pretty good.
And what part of the franchise is this? Because obviously you've had the Aliens, Alien 3.
I'm a little bit lost, to be honest. I'm not quite
the prequel,
sure.
right? We had the prequel with, what was that one called again?
Prometheus.
With Android. Prometheus, yeah.
Prometheus, and then there was Covenant.
Oh, yeah, Covenant.
But I do get a little bit lost on that, to be honest.
On that timeline.
Yeah. I think
because isn't Prometheus when he takes the aliens or the eggs and everything, so he decimates that civilization, then he flies away with them, right?
That is, that's Covenant, I think. Prometheus is the one where they discover the planet, and they discover it because it's it's Guy Pearce trying to discover who his maker is.
That's right, yeah.
And they find these paintings in the cave at the beginning.
That's right.
And they discover this sort of like planet in some universe.
And that's Prometheus. Which one came first then? Again, I thought it was Prometheus then Covenant. Or was it Covenant and then Prometheus?
Oh no, it's Prometheus and then Covenant.
Oh, Jesus. It's just okay. Well, I haven't seen anything that's coming out in the cinema. I suppose I might go see the new Deadpool movie.
When is that? Deadpool?
I think it's out.
Oh, it's out? All right.
Isn't it? With Hugh Jackman as well. With what's his face? What's his name in that?
Oh, Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So might go and catch that one. But
yeah. I follow him on Instagram, and I think he does a little bit of banter back and forth between who's the other guy?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but those guys are good together. I think Ryan Reynolds is perfect as Deadpool. Yeah, those are good movies actually. But I think we could talk about movies for forevermore. But I think this was just more of a pleasure cruise.
I think so. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we both love movies and we make time for movies, and movies do kind of influence and inspire us in what we sort of do, sort of work life.
But also thinking, it's the deep thinking that comes with it.
I think it's the stories, and for me, it's like the stories, it's kind of the pacing, it's the composition, it's everything that's kind of visual. It's just exciting for me, like especially with what I do. That's the impact that it has.
No, that's true. I think with me, and maybe it is a little bit like that. I love the soundtracks and the sound effects that come with it, like the Dune movies are amazing. Arrival was fantastic. The way that they used the sound there, also for the communication purposes, and there was always like a slow hum. It felt as well through Arrival, and then Interstellar. I mean, that soundtrack even it's so old.
You know, I tried to watch that film Arrival with my wife Rose. And,
how did that go, Kev?
No, good. Because
how many questions did you get? Did you get the question at the beginning? What are they saying? What are they saying?
All the time. But no, we only got about 10 minutes in, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is the most depressing film I've ever seen," because it has that journey with the death of the daughter at the beginning. And,
but that's a critical part of the movie.
Honestly, I was telling her this, and it's the same like when I was trying to get her to watch The Last of Us.
Oh yeah,
it's a phenomenal kind of series, but it was like it's a really kind of hard watch the first episode because obviously again the girl gets killed. Mm-hmm. But I was like, it's fundamental to the story and how it sort of impacts in the father's kind of life and dictates like the direction that he sort of takes. And so you need to watch it, just get through it, but just commit to it. It's worth it. It's a great series. Anyway, I think the door went at the bit where the girl was just about to get killed. And I went to answer the door, and I came back, and she had switched it off. She'd put something.
No.
Yeah.
But
I can't believe you made me watch that.
I have that with Annie, my wife, as well. I let her choose movies sometimes, but it's absolutely pointless. You either get a bazillion questions before you're 10 minutes through. I mean, the cliche is true, or she falls asleep. And why am I watching this?
I've tried to watch Lord of the Rings with Rose like so many times, and if I want Rosie to fall asleep, I just put on Lord of the Rings because
then you can watch something else.
4 times, and within 20 minutes, she's fallen asleep.
We should mention that Rosie's in the TV business, right? I mean, she produces series and everything, so she's also in this creative industry. So you think she'd have a desire to learn the craft?
Yeah, it's weird. But the thing is, because she works in TV and maybe she doesn't want, when she gets home, she just wants to watch trash. Like it's a distraction.
Love Island.
She wants to watch. Like I think she's watching The Circle at the moment and stuff.
Oh, okay. Hence the Adam Sandler movies, of course.
And the Adam Sandler. It's just easy. It's like almost like she can kind of zone out, and she doesn't have to put much thought into it because she just wants to chill. Which I get. It's cool, but like.
No, I appreciate those movies. Like those sort of 90-minute movies, right?
Yeah.
Just easy going, but no, I think. And now that we're talking about, I'm going to have to go back, and because we're going on holiday, of course, at the end of the week, and maybe download like Blade Runner, Arrival, Interstellar, Prometheus as well. Actually, now that you've mentioned it, I think I have to dip back into that one.
Prometheus gets better with every watch, because when I first saw it at the cinema, when it came out, like I wasn't too impressed with it. I thought it was like a Victoria sponge cake. It looked beautiful outside, but when you sliced into it, it was just like sponge and raspberry jam or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, the more that you eat it, the tastier it becomes. So continue to watch it. Yeah, it does kind of like, it's good. It's quite a good film.
That's the other thing about films before we sort of chalk off here. I think I will watch some movies actually just also based on the actors. So like, I do like Michael Fassbender, and I do like Christian Bale, for example. I think he's just... What? No, God, that guy's so good at acting. Like American Psycho, Batman, the one where he played the drug addict brother as well next to Mark
he's
Wahlberg.
Done some good films. I guess I just don't like him personally. I think he's a douche.
Get something against Welsh people, Kev.
There's The Mechanic as well. Did you ever see that?
I think I've seen The Mechanic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that came out around about the same time as Memento. And then there was like, we could be here all day. What's the other one that I liked? Darren Aronofsky's films, his early films, and Requiem for a Dream was amazing. Pi was amazing. Just like the imagery, the story, the ideas, they're really clever kind of films like that pull on your heartstrings. Anyway, we should probably wrap it up. And
I think we're going to have another one of these later on.
Yeah,
it's nice just to chinwag about movies. But yeah, I think this was good for us today. And if anybody's watching, go watch The Big Short. Just want to say that. If anybody's watched it, I want to know their thoughts on it as well. You ever seen The Big Short?
I have not.
Go see The Big Short, Kev. What movie do you want to leave with people before they go? Or before we go?
Any Stanley Kubrick film, I guess. 2001. It's classic. I mean, you watch that film now and it stands a testament of times. Just
it does.
Probably one of the best and most iconic films. It's just amazing. Yeah, go watch it.
Do you know what we should do actually before this? We should do one of these YouTube videos where we record ourselves breaking down movies. Those things get a lot of hits. Maybe we can target that niche. A Beyond the Craft, behind the scenes. I don't know, it's a working title.
Work on it.
We'll work on it. All right, guys. Well, thanks very much for your devoted time once again. I'm Keith, the co-host of Beyond the Craft. And that was Kevin, I suppose also co-host of Beyond the Craft. And yeah, thank you for listening.
Catch you next time.
See ya.